We know how expensive things have gotten for fans at the box office. And on top of that, you've also got to deal with increases in travel costs like food and beverage and hotels as well. It's just crazy how pricey things have gotten. And in this age of high ticket prices, I often wonder, how much are these shows actually making? Well, I've got an answer for you, and the numbers are eye-popping. Pollstar just released their year-end list of the top 2024 touring acts in the world. So I'm going to give you a look at the actual numbers of what the biggest bands in the game are truly making. Here's more. We recently talked about the surprising cancellation of Sick New World. And while that was definitely concerning, and ticket sales might be cooling off a bit, that likely had more to do with the fact that System of a Down wasn't playing. The event this year was the first year the band didn't play. Instead, they had two giant bands on their own, Metallica and Linkin Park. But that wasn't enough, indicating that most of their fans at Sick New World are likely traveling from out of town. And given that both Metallica and Linkin Park are playing shows all throughout the US next year, it might not have been enough. On top of that, we've seen the crazy ticket sales of System of a Down with their stadium shows next year featuring Avenged Sevenfold, Korn, and Deftones. Each of those shows sold out so fast within hours of going on sale that they needed to add a second date. And according to concert juggernaut Live Nation, live shows soared last year. 2023 was their biggest year ever. It's hard to put into context just how big and powerful Live Nation is. Of course, for one, they own Ticketmaster. They're a highly controversial company, with many feeling like they've gotten too big. But one thing's for sure, they are the foremost experts in live events. According to their data, they had 145 million fans attending shows last year, an increase of 20% over the previous year. 620 million tickets sold by Ticketmaster, a 13% increase. And now, according to Pollstar, we know the biggest bands on the planet in terms of ticket sales alone. We even have figures on how much these shows are making and how many total ticket sales the bands have sold. Now, of course, not all of these artists are rock or metal, so bear with me. Coming in at number 10 is Madonna, with a gross revenue of $178 million. That's for number 10. Her average ticket price was $208. Average tickets sold were 13,000. She sold more than 856,000 tickets, and her average gross sales were $2.7 million. That is a night per show. 64 shows in 2024. Next up is a band that all of you will know, one of the biggest bands of all time and one of the greatest live acts to ever exist. Year after year, they have been on this list in the top 10, none other than Metallica, with a massive $179 million generated from ticket sales in 2024. Their average price is $119. The average tickets sold were 62,000, highly impressive, and they sold 1.5 million tickets. What do they make on average per night according to Pollstar? A massive $7.4 million. And next up, you have Zach Bryan. How much did he make this year? Ladies and gentlemen, $199 million on the road, with an average ticket price of $189. Average ticket sales, 21,000. Total tickets sold over 1 million, and an average per night of $4 million. Next up at number 7, we had Bad Bunny, $210 million. Average ticket sale of $279. 15,000 average ticket sales per night. And then total tickets sold 753,000, average per night, making $4 million. Next up at number 6, we have the Icons, the Rolling Stones, and they crushed it this year. A massive $235 million made, with an average ticket price of $277. 47,000 average tickets sold and 847,000 total tickets sold. How much are they making on average per night? It's one of the biggest figures on the list. Ladies and gentlemen, congrats to Rolling Stones. Dinner's on them. 13 million bucks average gross per night. Incredible. Next up, coming in at number 5, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, with a massive $251 million gross. Average ticket price of $150. 37,000 average tickets sold, with 1.6 million total this year. Their average per night is 5.7 million. Coming in at number 4, Luis Miguel, 261 million. Average ticket price of $140. 16,000 per night average. 1.8 million total sold. The average per night for Luis Miguel is $2.3 million. Number 3, Pink. I actually really like Pink. She has a lot of bangers, pop songs. $367 million made. That's incredible. $134 average ticket sale price. Average number of tickets is 40,000. 2.7 million tickets sold. Highly impressive. And per night, that is 5.4 million. She did 67 shows this year. Amazing year for Pink. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, it's Coldplay. All right, I like a lot of Coldplay's early stuff. They made a crazy amount of money. Almost $500 million. Coming in with $421 million. Average ticket sale price, $128. Average tickets sold, 60,000 tickets. Total number of tickets sold for Coldplay, 3.2 million. And on average per night, $7.8 million. Unbelievable. And coming in at number 1, you probably guessed it, folks, the number 1 touring artist in 2024, and probably every year that she tours, is none other than Taylor Swift. Her gross ticket sales for the year 2024 is $1.04 billion. Unbelievable. Average ticket price, $200, with a massive 65,000 tickets sold on average, topping the list on that figure as well. She sold 5.2 million tickets in 2024, also topping the list in that category. And her average per night, folks, is a major $13 million. Taylor Swift worked very hard this year, playing in 80 shows. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear this, I'm going, damn, it sounds like they're making an absolute insane amount of money. Maybe we can bring these ticket prices down a little bit. I know it's much more complicated than that, but if you understand it better than me, let me know down in the comments. But for sure, these are crazy, staggering numbers in the live entertainment world. So you've got Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Band, you've got the Rolling Stones, and Metallica in that top 10. I suspect next year in 2025, we're also going to see Linkin Park. They haven't had the chance to play enough shows this year. They've got a huge schedule. I could see them potentially topping the list in terms of ticket sales. Certainly maybe in the top 3, we'll see, but they got a lot of shows lined up next year. Metallica also as well, with a huge list of stadium shows happening, so they'll be back on this list next year for sure as well. Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button for the latest news and updates, and help me get to 1 million. Peace.